we've created something elegant and connected.
We built something meaningful.
Something innovative.
What if changing your art was simple?
Meural is a beautiful digital canvas. Meural is pushing the boundaries of technology, art, and design. It's honoring the tradition of artwork while innovating in a new medium.
Meural is really a window to the great museums, galleries, artist studios, and workshops around the world. A number of my friends, they're past that stage in life where they're putting up posters on their wall. You find an image that you like, and now you have to either go online or go to the store and pay for it, bring it home, or wait a few weeks for it to be shipped. With a mural, you can have that image instantly. That's how we're making art accessible to you.
Artwork is historically inaccessible to a broad demographic. It's incredible to think about this object that's intended to show the work the way it's meant to be shown, and strangely, that hasn't existed before.
So a big part of my job is building relationships, and a lot of those relationships are with galleries and people who work with artists and artists themselves. It's important that we have those relationships so that we can get the most powerful art and images to people, to deliver that to them in their homes.
We're working with incredible designers and developers. Richard Clarkson created an incredible set of designs for us that will make the mural frame really stand out.
I thought it was a piece of paper at first. I didn't realize until sort of you wave your hand in front of it and it moves into a new screen that it was actually already a digital surface. Upon sort of those very early discussions about what material directions we should go in, it sort of was pretty clear from early on that it was just always going to be wood. That warmth that it brings both on the wall and to the touch is something that is difficult to accomplish in other materials.
It's gesture controlled, so it's just a matter of swiping left or right or up and down, and you can change the art. You can go from a Van Gogh to a Klimt to a contemporary artist.
Many people was overwhelmed with all this gadget, and we don't want that to look like gadget. Beautiful frame, beautiful proportion, and then the art is the center of the attraction. And we don't want to distract from people enjoying the art. It's part of your environment.
It's very elegant, sophisticated, but approachable, and it brings art to a place where whether you're a 10-year-old or whether you're a 90-year-old, you'll be able to explore it. We've gone to great lengths to make sure that you see the texture of the painting, you see the depth, and you can tell if you're looking at a Van Gogh, you see the brushstrokes, and that's the beauty of high-resolution digital imagery.
I can now share my art with a collection. It elevates my art, helping me reach a bigger audience that I never had the capability of doing before that.
I'm really inspired by the idea of Meural enabling and empowering people. This is really a platform where you can find something you remember from childhood or high school or college, or you could set it on autopilot. We can help you discover that cool artist that's working on the Lower East Side or in London or Paris or Tokyo. All of a sudden, the art world becomes yours. That's what the power and the meaning of Meural really is.
I'm done. Thank you. So that did the job of doing the background on what we're doing here with Meural. Here's the latest version of it. We'll be shipping product for the first time in about a month and a half. So it's been a long journey. Matt asked me to come by and talk about a very specific topic, and I didn't have very much time to come up with something, so I decided to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot, and the idea of building, the idea of building a hardware platform that delivers content and doing that in a successful way. And really, that's what we're doing. Meural is a device that allows you to access a whole world of new art, of photography, and of visual culture in many different ways. And we've learned a lot from some of the innovators out there in the space, particularly companies like Sonos, companies like Beats by Dre, companies like GoPro. All of these companies are doing what we're doing in a slightly different way. They're being content delivery platforms via a dedicated hardware device. And so These are 3 points I came up with kind of that I really experienced firsthand over the last 2 years as we've built Meural. The first point is that if you're building a content platform, it's not just about the end consumer, it's about the creator of that content as well. And we wanted to start with the creators. So as you saw in that video, a lot of our work has been done directly with artists, directly with creators of this content. We were incubated out of an artist workshop downtown on the Lower East Side. And for the first 3 months, all we did was talk to artists, photographers, designers, creatives of many different types, getting their input, making this product as wonderful to them as possible. Because we knew there was the end consumer out there, but the supplier of this artwork, the artists, the curators themselves needed to embrace it fully for it to be a success. That was in the beginning. After that, we started going to consumers, really bringing along that input and creating a way for them to experience the different artwork that we had already collected. But without the supply, we couldn't meet the demand. And that's, I think, a really important lesson that I've learned. And you see it all over the place. You see it with Sonos. You see it with the original iPod. Without the music, without the supply of the content, there would be no demand, or the demand could not be met. The second point is that the medium is the message. Early on, we realized that what we create here is going to influence people. And early on, I'll give you an example of that. Early on, we were showing this device in a landscape format. And most people would think that it was a TV or it was a monitor. But as soon as you move this into portrait, you reorient the psychology and the perception of what we built. You turn it into art. You turn it into photography. And that's really meaningful. And that means that we quickly realized the way we designed this is going to strongly influence the way people use it. So for instance, we have a specialized haze cover on the device. So that means that it absorbs light as opposed to reflecting it. That's unlike any other screen out there. In addition, we have wood, natural materials, cork, cotton, all these things that shape this into a product that fits into your home, it fits into your office, not a gadget, not another device. And then finally, the image itself is algorithmically optimized. That means that we put a lot of work in making sure that when it's displayed, you barely know that it's a digital image. And that's really, really important for us and for the artists and for the end consumers. And then finally, the thing I learned, and I think every other hardware startup here agrees with this, is that you're never really done. And this is particularly true when you are trying to satiate two sides of the market, the content creators and the content consumers. And because of this, we've learned that we need to be nimble and we need to be flexible in terms of upgrading this product on a consistent basis. So what we've learned is that we need to be able to update this on the fly on a consistent, regular basis for people even after we ship the product itself. So we've created an algorithm and a system so that we can push updates to the device over the air on really immediately after we ship, immediately after we get direct feedback from our customers. So those are the 3 points that I wanted to cover. I only have one slide, so hopefully there are questions. You can shout.
Yeah, so can you talk a little bit more about your algorithm, so how you translate the original image?
Yep.
More palatable?
Yes. So these aren't regular Google images that you can get by searching for something online. They're either directly from the artists themselves, or they're from the museums, galleries, and families that own the originals. So these are professionally digitized images that are either scanned or taken through high-resolution photographs, or they're natively created for our platform. So either it's fully optimized to be displayed on Meural, or it's been created with the Meural specifications in mind.
So partnerships are a big part of your business?
Yes, partnerships are a huge part of our business, directly with the museums, the galleries, and also the individual artists themselves.
Does this become a marketplace?
You read my mind. Yes, because we own both sides of the content spectrum, this is really a marketplace. It's a marketplace that can be structured in different ways. It could be subscription or pay per download. But in the end, we serve as the conduit between the content creators, the artists, the galleries, the museums, and everyone else, the consumers.
To follow up on that, the color of a particular image and how you see it depends upon what the ambient light is. For instance, here you have a sort of a yellowish type light,
yeah.
and it affects in terms of what you see and the perceptive, whether it may be a little greener than what I would have ordinarily seen the Van Gogh at. Do you have a sensor on that figures this out, or how do you figure this out in terms of what the right environment is, or the environment you're shooting for, and how do you adjust for
Yes.
light?
So we have an ambient light sensor on top that reads the light quality and quantity within the particular sphere where the device is located. Based on this sensor, we're able to adjust the image, both in terms of the backlight, but also gamma correction, color correction, and other items within the image. And then in addition to that, I mentioned this earlier, we have an algorithm that meta tags every single image in our database. And based on whether it's oil on canvas or photograph or print, displays it differently. So a photograph needs to be displayed with different gamma correction, different backlight than an oil on canvas painting, than a GIF, than a moving image, than a movie, et cetera, et cetera. So we put a lot of thought into this. And like I said, early on, this is the one thing we made sure that we nailed.
If it's not a trade secret, can you walk us through what's
Yes.
in here? So that like a Raspberry Pi or something?
No, we're actually working with an SoC system that's in Chromebooks. So it's a widely used, slightly adjusted SoC system on chip that is more powerful than a Raspberry Pi or a BeagleBone because we're pushing HD quality images on a consistent basis. In addition to that, there's 3 ways of interacting with the device. There's obviously the mobile application, there is the website, but then also we created a very simple hand gesture mechanism. So you can change what's on the display simply by waving your hand in front of it. It can't be touched because you don't touch art, but you do want to interact with it in a very light, sensible way. And that's why we've created this very simple hand gesture mechanism. Left, right, up, down, etc.
So I'm actually working off this gentleman's question.
Yes.
It just dawned on me that you have a picture on your wall, a real picture on your wall.
This is a real picture. I'm just kidding.
On a facility.
Yeah.
When you turn off the light, it goes dark.
Yeah.
So you can't see the lights off. What happens when you turn off the light?
Yeah, so the ambient light sensor recognizes that the light is at 0 or near 0, and you can set it to turn off when there's no light in the system. In addition to that, you can calibrate it yourself. So during the out-of-box experience, you can calibrate it so you can tell the device, this is the natural ambient light in this room, and then if it goes below a certain range, turn off automatically. So we wanted to have qualities that were non-intrusive to your life. And like you said, when you turn off the lights, you don't see a painting anymore. When you turn off the lights, this will shut off as well.
It's very exciting. Can you discuss your rounds of investment funding and equity that you've allocated to date?
Yes. We've raised, well, initially we were self-funded, as most startups are. And then we've raised a seed round so far. So about $500,000 or so, give or take. And there's more in the works, but I can't really talk about it right now. I'm allowed, but I'm not going to. Yeah.
Sorry, one quick follow-up. With respect to the thing we're talking about, public partnerships, have you considered or got any interest in using something like blockchain to control the supply of newly created artwork and then maybe sort of build a completely new model?
Yes, we have. Right now, it would be overcomplicating things a little bit because we already control the full system itself. So we can control scarcity of the images themselves without blockchain. As we continue to open up the system, that could be one option of monitoring inventory to make sure that there's a fixed amount of particular sets of images. We've looked into it. Like I said, not yet, but it's coming.
Or is this Berlin-based company that could help you do that called Scribe that I
Yes.
Can you describe in more technical detail how to solve the illusion of oil and cotton canvas on an LCD or whatever display this is?
Magic. No.
It's officially advanced technology.
Yes. So first of all, we have a great technology team in place, and we've built pretty much everything from scratch. Obviously, the display is not, we didn't build it ourselves, but we took it all apart from the firmware, even below firmware level. And that's being able to control the display at such a fine level is key for optimizing it for artistic works. So our CTO and our technology team was able to really build the firmware from scratch in order to display art, photography, visual culture really in this format so that it looks really, really good. In addition to that, a lot of testing. I probably went through 100 different haze covers. So there's a very special chemical formulation that is used to absorb light as opposed to reflecting it. I did most of that testing myself early on. We tried wax, we tried glues, we tried different materials, different chemical compounds, and we settled on this because it works really well both with photography and with moving images and with, in particular, kind of oil on canvas and brush stroke oriented work. So it's the hardware plus the software plus the firmware. So by controlling the full package, we're able to really deliver that right experience.
To build on that point, tell us a little bit about the team. It's always interesting for people building startups to figure out, who do you have in-house, who do you outsource,
Yeah.
who do you have as consultants?
We have a great team. I'm very, our head of design is right here. He's helping us create the awesome experience that you saw. In addition to that, internally we have myself. I do everything, and then a little bit of everything. In addition, we have a CTO who is a firmware developer by practice. He's an electrical engineer by learning. So it's having technology capabilities internally from the get-go was very, very important for us. It's very rare to find that, particularly early on, but a lot of equity helped convince him. And in addition to that, we have an operations person, someone who basically is in charge of the full supply chain, manufacturing, working with our manufacturers both here in the United States, in China, and in other parts of the world that we're leveraging. It's a global product, and he speaks Chinese. It's very useful, particularly when you're negotiating. And so myself, COO, you saw Sim, she's our head of partnerships, really working with the different galleries, with the different museums. As this is a content platform, that content makes or breaks us. If we don't have the right content, and we don't have a lot of the right content, and it's not curated in the right way, then this is just an empty vessel. So it's really important to have that right content. So content, manufacturing, technology, design, and the captain. 5 people.
I noticed when you whack your hand up,
Yes.
there's an overlay for information.
Yes, it's kind of like the museum experience.
So,
Yeah.
do you have a role in the commerce aspect of art available for purchase?
Yes. So right now, it's structured in as a seamless way as possible. So when you buy the device, you get full access to our content database. In the future, there will be a subscription-based service where you will be able to subscribe to different artists, different galleries, or bundles of artists and galleries and beyond. And we think that the subscription mechanism is more conducive to consuming this type of content than per download or per item.
But what about, sorry, but what about the person who actually wants to buy the
That's a good question. So yes, a lot of artists view this as a promotional tool. So we make sure that on their pages and on the background information, they're able to, in some cases, link back or have the ability to kind of go upstream so you can buy the original. Yeah, well, artists like that.
Have you patented the technology you developed?
Yeah, so we have a utility patent on the full package of what we've developed. Obviously, we can't patent a display or a frame or kind of some of the baseline things, but we have a patent on the full combination. And I think, you know, it's good to have.
All right, one last question over there.
Good questions.
How does the role of open source art play into your marketplace?
Yeah. It's a good question. So early on, it's really important that this experience is stellar. And to make it stellar, the only way to do that is for us to control low. Right? Yep. Oh, right here. Yeah. The only way to make it stellar is for us to control the full ecosystem and to us control the content base on top of that. But we view this as a platform. So that means gradually we see ourselves opening up that platform to artists, to the open source community, and then also to developers. We've had a lot of developers and artists / developers reach out to us and think about creating interactive art. Think about creating art that lives with you or evolves with you in different ways. And that's where I see this heading. I see this going into a visual, creative platform. Really, we see ourselves as the heart of the smart home. The device or set of devices that make us feel things, make us be inspired, make us experience the world in a different way. And I think the idea of the heart as the heart of the smart home is really where we're taking Meural, and I think the open source community will have a big part in that.
All right, that was very cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.